Who is at Wits University. Nozintobi, good evening and thank you so much for joining us. Now, what's the latest at the university?
Well, a very good evening to you, Lulu. As you so rightly said, I'm going to give you the latest information on what's happened with the students. Right now, they're inside Senate Hall, and some of them are studying, some of them are also protesting. But I do have quite a number of guests here that we'll speak to. With me immediately is SRC President Kaila. Just tell me, what are your plans for tomorrow morning in terms of the meeting that you're going to be having with the president?
I'm not going to be attending that meeting, symbolically so, because we aren't here to negotiate, we aren't here to have more meetings. As students, we are tired of that. Our demands have been made very clear, and we're not going to go into any form of negotiation. We want a 0% increase in fees, we want free education, and we want an end to outsourcing at our university institutions, because workers are the life's blood of our university institutions. And the other thing that I'd like to say is that it's very disingenuous for the universities to now say that they're on the side of students when they didn't support us on this issue previously. It's also very, very wrong for us as SRC leadership to even think of going into a meeting when our brothers and sisters around the country have been arrested for the very thing that we are going into this meeting for.
All right, let's bring you in, Professor Tawana Cooper. You are the vice chairperson here at Wits. You've sent your support to the students, and this seems to come a couple of days too late.
I'm the deputy vice-chancellor, not the chairperson. It hasn't come too late. I think this is the struggles for adequately funded education have been rolling out in the last few days, in the last 2 weeks. But there is a long list of documents, discussions that have happened between higher education institutions and national structures and others around how the public university system ought to be funded. Right now, what has happened is matters have come to a head, and all of us are in a learning cave, but all of us must focus on one thing: adequately funded, substantially funded education system that does two things: produces high-level skills and knowledge to uplift South African society, lift up the continent, and be part of a world that creates a sustainable future for all of us.
All right, Shahira, you have management here. What is a question to you that you have to management?
I don't have any questions. I've been on the SRC for a long time now this year, and I've asked all the questions I have, and those questions have not been adequately answered, which led us to the free protest anyway. And it's erupted into something that is much bigger than Wits, and that is much bigger than all of us. And we find strength in that, and we really do want a solution to the higher education crisis, and that to us is free education, and we are not going to back down on that demand. There's no surrender and there's no retreat at this point. We've come too far, we've worked too hard, and 8 days is not going to sell us out for just a 0%. We want free education right now.
All right, Shahira, you may not have questions, but we also have a student in Marble who has some questions for management, not just at Wits, but also universities across the nation.
My question to all the guys that sit in those fancy councils of theirs is that are you guys really, really proud of what you're seeing in this country? I mean, in a country where we preach high levels of unemployment, yet at the same time you want to push out the very people that they're supposed to uplift this country. So are you guys really, really, really proud of what you guys are doing? And over and above that, do you think that the salaries that you're getting are befitting of the crisis that you guys have put the society in?
All right, Professor Tawana Cooper, you've heard two questions from Sonwabo. Are you proud of yourselves, and are you proud of the salaries that you're getting?
No, I think the questions were a little more sophisticated than that. Nobody is proud of any salary they are getting for its sake. This country has some of the best universities and some of the institutions that are producing skills. This country can do much better with a better funded system, systemically, all of it. And this better funded system will do the following: it will ensure there are no financial exclusions. It will make sure that better funded students who have performed well at matric do not then do well in good time because they are not fully funded, because that's a wastage of national resources. This country has the potential to uplift not only the continent, but also to be a major contributor to the world. And this is recognized internationally. So what we need to do now that the students, and here I am proud, the students starting at Wits, but now a national movement, have put this issue onto their major national platform so that in 3 weeks, President Zuma and his Minister of Higher Education have had to call high-level meetings. What is now needed out of all of these meetings is not yet more meetings, but actually solutions that are sustainable long-term and put us onto a future of a democratic, sustainable society.
Professor, just to jump in there, you have shut down the university for the past week up until next weekend. Thank you, Shayera. And I want to know, in 2 weeks' time, exams are supposed to happen. What exactly is going to be the logistics? Are you going to push back the exams? What's going to happen?
It's a fluid situation, and what is required is, of course, a solution immediately that would allow us to reopen. Once we have a solution that is sustainable, that allows us to reopen, we'll have to sit down with all of the stakeholders, students, lecturers, and others, and to say, how do you recover what has been lost in terms of the academic program? How do you create an exams timetable which ensures that people actually pass and succeed? Because everybody who's here in this challenge came here to get an education and to get out of here, contribute to themselves, develop their potential, and develop society. I am confident once we will find each other and find the solutions.
But in terms of logistics, what does that mean? We have 2 weeks?
It means simply saying that how much time has actually been lost, how much can be regained, or do you have other alternatives? Because an exam is not about being taught everything as such. It's testing particular kinds of skills. But one is thinking ahead of themselves here. But it is clear that you can actually reconstruct the timetable. In this country, what we normally do is, by end of November, we finish exams, and by 15 November, we are gone. We could actually push it by another 2 weeks and make sure that by that time, what some people call Christmas, we have completed all of these things. So, urgent matter, solution, recreate the timetable, ensure that the exam is there, which people can actually take and pass and get on with.
So you're looking to push back exams at this time?
Yeah, definitely. Given what has happened already, requires a pushback of some time. I can't stand here and say how long the pushback will be, given the fluidity of the situation.
All right, Chair, your comments?
No, I think that was one of our demands, that the time that students have lost will be made up, or they won't be tested on the work that they were not taught. And it's something that has stressed out a lot of students, so it's good to hear that, and the university has no choice but to do that. But the last thing I'd like to say is that if vice-chancellors around the country really cared about free education and really cared about universities not becoming commoditized, they would actually have stopped increasing fees a long time ago, and it would have put the country at a standstill. But they failed to do that, so students have done that, and this is a student victory. This is no one else's victory. This is a student victory nationally, and we should never ever forget that.
All right, thank you so much to my 3 guests. They had some very critical points, but we're hearing from management, from the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the University of Wits, that it is most likely that they'll be pushing back exams up until the situation is resolved. We heard from the SRC President that she herself will not be going to the union buildings, despite the fact that there will be quite a large number of students going to the union buildings tomorrow to listen to what the President will be saying. So the nation tomorrow will be keeping a very close eye on the talks that will be happening at the union buildings with the President and the various vice-chancellors across the country. Back to you, Lulu.
Thank you, Nozimia. That was our reporter, Nozintombi.